Please take your seats. Good evening. My name is Sue Henderson. My name is Sue Henderson. I'm the chair of the Wonder World Board of Directors and co-chair of this event. Welcome to the 2018 Wonder World Fulbright Awards Dinner and the culmination for our 40th anniversary year. Congratulations. I'd like to begin the evening by saying a heartfelt thanks to every person in this room for joining us tonight and supporting our work. I am thrilled to be able to announce that we have raised a large number tonight, almost a record. And Jen Clark, what's the number? $763,000. Congratulations. Please feel free to enjoy your salads while I'm speaking. I want to especially thank our honorees, Creighton Condon, Ambassador Edward Elson, Ken Ford, and Allison Gushy-Malinton. I'd also like to recognize my fellow co-chairs, who are all former honorees this evening. Miriam Asafa, David Hellenick, and Clark Murphy. At Wonder World, we are all say that our friends never leave us, and I have proof tonight. I am proud to announce that we actually have a record number of 14 former honorees who are with us tonight to help us round out our 40th. The list is going to be behind me, but I would be remiss of not naming them. So if you would please bear with me. Emily Altman, Dr. Madeline Antonchik, Diedrich Cederholm, Dr. Rita Hauser, Dr. Terrence Martell, Robert Schwenk, Winky Thomas Stearns, Dr. David Steinberg, Whitney Tilson, and let's get a round of applause for this one, our very first honoree 28 years ago, Alberto Vitali. And a most special former honoree who's also served as our honorary co-chair for the past 22 years. She is a dear, dear friend of the organization, Harriet Mayer Fulbright. Harriet was with us when we honored her husband, Senator J. William Fulbright, in 1993, and was honored herself in 2000. Harriet, there is no way to convey how much your support and friendship means to us. Please, again, I'm going to make you stand up one more time and be recognized. As a president of a university, I would also like to give special recognition to my fellow college and university presidents who are with us tonight, who are listed on the screen. Thank you for coming. Wonder World has more than 65 member colleges, universities, and institutions in the tri-state area as partners in our work. And we are proud that we not only have these presidents, but also 118 representatives of academic institutions here with us. Your support, that deserves a round of applause. Your support and involvement are central to our mission. In fact, this organization would not exist if a dedicated group of you had not founded it 40 years ago. I hope you'll give a moment of attention to our centerpieces. These are photos travel guides to 5 different countries, and they are yours for the taking at the end of the evening. Once again, for the 10th year in a row, we have graciously been donated by voters. And for a special surprise at each of your tables, one of you has a spoon with a ribbon tied around it. Take a look now and see if the ribbon is on your spoon. If you have a ribbon on your spoon, you are the winner of a living language online course valued at $150. Now, these cards are donated by Penguin Random House, and you will find them tucked under the rose in your centerpieces. Congratulations. Now, please direct your eyes to the screen to learn more about the work of One to World.
Arriving in New York, it's a very overwhelming place.
The only thing I knew about New York is the Times Square and all the nice pubs and everything. But only after joining One to World, I started really connecting with the city.
I think for me, one of the most benefit things of being in New York City is that One to World was, is here.
One to World really threw out this big social lifeline.
I wouldn't have met these amazing people that made my life better being away from my family. They became my second family here in the US.
When there's an opportunity for you to bring others into your home and see where the connections are, and it just enriches everyone.
I discovered that Americans, they are very hospitable and accepting of others.
The knowledge that we share does not stop in these classrooms. The knowledge becomes viral, the knowledge becomes like a river.
And it can create this very nice space of empathy and this bridge for communication.
I didn't fly a 14-hour flight to hang out with people who are just like me.
I think One to World was a sort of ambassador, in fact, of the United States for so many students all at once.
After I joined One to World, it actually changed everything I believed.
I have encountered and experienced things that I never would have without One to World. Most important of all is I see the world differently because of One to World.
I, as a one person, got connected to the world, I guess, which is, I suppose, the entire point of this organization.
Thank you. Tonight you'll hear from current Fulbrighters about what One to World means to them. Their stories will have one thing in common, and that is you. We depend on you, our friends and supporters, to share your time, your experiences with outstanding students from all over the world. This is citizen diplomacy, and it's the heart of the One to World mission. There are cards at your table with opportunities to become involved, so please fill them out and leave them on your tables. We'll pick them up at the end of the evening and follow up with you soon. Now, I would like to ask you to join me in welcoming the new Executive Director of One to World, Jen Clark.
Thank you so much, Sue. And the warmest thanks to my entire board of directors for your help with tonight's event and for all you do all year long for One to World. I'd also like to give a shout out to my very dedicated and talented staff who make the hundreds of programs that we put on every year happen. And I'd also, yes, give them a round of applause. I'd also like to recognize my predecessors that are with us tonight, the former executive directors of One to World, who helped build and shape the organization that I am now so proud to lead. Now, I want to begin with a tradition that we do each year to remind us of what we have come here to celebrate. So I'm going to ask some of you to stand and then to please remain standing. So first off, let's have all the current Fulbright students and scholars please stand. And remain standing. Great, stay up. Now, I'd like to have, no, stay standing, Bakur. Come on, come on. Now I'd like all the Fulbright alumni in the room. Could you please stand and remain standing? And finally, stay up. And finally, regardless of whether you're a Fulbrighter, if you have studied abroad, lived in another country, or worked abroad, please stand. Yes. Look at this. There are not less than 38 countries represented in this country tonight, and look around and see what a wonderful gathering of internationalists this is. Yes, please be seated, and please continue to enjoy your dinner. As Sue said, we are so proud to be honoring 4 amazing people tonight: Creighton Condon, Edward Elson, Ken Ford, and Alison Goucher-Mulkenthin. Each of you has made a significant contribution to global understanding and cooperation. It means so much to us that each has contributed your time, energy, and resources to make tonight such a success. Thank you. Every single day for the past 40 years, One to World has connected Americans with international students and scholars from all around the world who are here in the New York area studying. Our programs bring them into American homes and schools and workplaces, with the goal of creating opportunities to develop meaningful relationships. When you're far away from your home country, the most amazing transformational moments happen when local people bring you into their lives and give you a chance to become part of their community. Stereotypes and preconceptions fall away, and you begin to feel like you belong. Senator Fulbright knew this when he created the Fulbright Program for Educational Exchange following World War II. It was his express purpose to prevent future wars by creating a tipping point of people who had actually experienced other countries and cultures. And he didn't just write legislation for the actual exchange program. He provided for funding for organizations like One to World, to make sure that Fulbright grantees get off their campuses and into homes and communities, that they actually make connections in the countries where they are studying. Now, I think Senator Fulbright might be a bit concerned today, because international exchange in the US is facing some challenges. The number of international students coming here is now decreasing, as students face fears about personal safety and doubts about whether they are welcome. And as other countries become more inviting, we are implementing travel bans and stricter visa requirements with longer processing times that make it harder for students to come and go easily. Ultimately, this will damage our institutions of higher learning and our country itself, as highly talented young people go elsewhere with their ideas and innovations. Business may well lose what has typically been a first pass at top talent from abroad. And Senator Fulbright's vision of peace through shared understanding may be greatly diminished. We cannot let this happen. As One to World looks ahead, we want to take on a broader role for advocating for the critical importance of educational exchange. So tonight, I call on each of us here to speak out on behalf of open educational borders whenever possible, and to become outspoken in our passion for awareness that transcends borders. I also submit to you that the work of One to World is now more important than it has ever been. While the problem may seem insurmountable at times, everyone who supports One to World should be enormously proud to be part of the solution. From New York, from New Jersey, from Connecticut, and Palm Beach, we are the face of all who welcome international students and scholars with open arms and hearts. We are the Fulbright vision in action every day. I thank everyone here tonight for believing in our work and to help make it possible. And now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the first presenter, or the presenter of our first award tonight, Fulbright grantee from Colombia, Felipe Zapata.
Thank you, Jen, and greetings to everyone here this evening. My name is Felipe Zapata, and as Jen said, I'm a Fulbright grantee from Colombia, working towards a PhD in technology management at the University of Bridgeport in Connecticut. I am currently a full-tenure professor of industrial design at the Universidad Pontificia Bolivariana in Medellin. My work fills the gap between scientists, management, and users of technologies. I'm a compulsive learner and have studied engineering, physics, design, project management, research and development, and marketing, all to understand how technology can best contribute to people's lives and communities. People have said that I'm like a duck. I may not be the best swimming or flying or walking, but I can do them all. And this is my value to a technology team. I was born in Medellin, Colombia. When many people hear Medellin, I know they think of the word cartel. They see images of extreme drug-related violence from the 1980s and early 90s, which my family and I were surrounded by and lived through. But that was 30 years ago. At a One to World event last month, I was so pleased to meet an American who, when I told him where I was from, he said, "What an amazing city Medellin has become. It's been through an enormous transformation with great architecture and schools and public transportation that connects to the poorest neighborhoods." And it's true. I'm so proud to be able to represent my country and to tell you that in 2013, the Urban Land Institute chose Medellin as one of the most innovative cities in the world. And I'm also proud that I am a member of the city's Regional Innovation Initiative, helping to advise on continued improvements. I hope you will come and visit. The weather is always lovely, and you will be most welcome. As Fulbright grantees, of course, we are here to excel in our studies, but also to weave a fabric of human experiences outside of the classrooms. That's where One to World comes in. They say that they serve the tri-state area, and I am proof. I come all the way from Bridgeport, Connecticut, to take part in nearly every One to World program there is. I have had dinner and holidays in American homes. I was part of a volunteer group helping to paint a New York City public school. I cheer at a Brooklyn Nets basketball game. I hiked up the Hudson River Valley. And I did community service feeding the hungry and the homeless. When I did Conversation with World Leaders program, I had to actually pinch myself. I could not believe I was really in the same room speaking with Bob Moritz, the global CEO of PricewaterhouseCoopers, or Creighton Condon, the senior partner of Sherman and Sterling, discussing the ethical and legal implications of self-driving cars technology. These are opportunities we would never, ever have on our own. And every single program also brings me together with new Fulbright friends I would never know otherwise, from Armenia, India, Portugal, Cambodia, Ecuador, Spain, Slovenia, France, all over the world. So I will never be able to express deep enough thanks to Want to World for doing so much to make my time here more meaningful and helping me make connections that will be important throughout my life. Because I love Want to World program so much, I am very happy to present tonight's first award to a person who did so much to make these programs possible, Ken Ford. It was a long way from his childhood in Limerick, Ireland, to New York City. Mr. Ford remembers standing in his living room, watching as farmers drove their cattle into town to buy and sell on fair days. The farmers would barter and then spit on their hands to seal the deal. As you can see, the Ireland of his youth was quite insulated from the rest of the world. Mr. Ford came to the US for 2 summers as a camp counselor on a J-1 visa, which grants international university students the opportunity to have summer work experience in this country. Interestingly, the J-1 visa was created as part of the Fulbright-Hays Act of 1961. So, I propose that we make Mr. Ford an honorary Fulbrighter tonight. Mr. Ford earned his master's degree from the University of Minnesota, and during his time there, he led international student organizations, bringing together young people from many different cultures and backgrounds. Once he and his wife Josie arrived in New York City, he looked for an organization with a similar mission and found Want to World, though it was then known as Metro International. Very soon, he was named to the board of directors. During his 20-year tenure as chair, Want to World grew and thrived. The Global Classroom program was launched in New York City public schools, and cooperative programming with the US military and naval academies opened new pathways. Then, in 1991, when similar organizations in other cities were closing their doors because of government funding cutbacks, Mr. Ford led the way in urging the board to take on the challenge of creating the annual Fulbright Awards dinner. And here we are tonight. Other organizations have been fortunate to have his leadership as well, including World Education Services, where he served 2 terms as board chair, and the University College Dublin Alumni Association, where he was president of the New York chapter. Because of his courage, faith, expertise, and leadership, Metro International, and now Want to World, has grown stronger in its 40 years than its founders could have ever imagined. And tonight, as part of this honor, Want to World is naming an internship after Mr. Ford in perpetuity. The Ken Ford intern will be an international student who wishes to work with Want to World. I could not be more proud to present the One to World 2018 Fulbright Award for International Education and Understanding to Ken Ford.
Thank you, Felipe, for that kind introduction. Good evening, everyone, and especially to all the friends who've come here tonight to support this event. And especially also Mrs. Harriet Fulbright, who traveled all the way from Washington to be with us this evening. Whenever the great Irish poet Seamus Heaney did a poetry reading, he would often start with a phrase that he heard in his childhood: "Whatever you say, say nothing." Well, tonight is not a night for nothing. But it is to say something, and it is this: One to World, a scrappy and not-for-profit in this grand city, is celebrating 40 years of service to students and scholars from around the world. Individuals come from every corner of the earth to study and conduct research at our great academic institutions, and you made it possible for One to World to welcome them, to involve them in city life, and to build bridges, not barriers, to mutual understanding. So give yourselves a round of applause. I joined the board of One to World in 1981. The following year, the directors were crazy enough to elect me to be the chair of the board. And I didn't stay too long, just a mere 20 years. During those years, I had the privilege of working with some great people who were leaders in their work, and several of whom are here tonight. And I want to recognize them and have them stand for a moment. Judy Factor, Stacy Simon, Margaret Sheba. Where are you, Margaret? Tracy Snyder and Andrea Nemitz. Please give them a warm round of applause. I see you, Margaret. Thank you. I want to thank One to World for this honor. I also want to thank all my friends and colleagues who came this evening to support this event financially, especially Miriam Asafa, my co-chair for the event, and all the Westies who are here. I can see you all. Thank you. Finally, I want to thank my wife, Josie, and my family who are here. I have 2 cousins from Ireland who came all the way for this event. Correct? And if you're complaining about the weather, you can refer to them. The Irish Tourist Board, of course, would not be happy with me making those remarks. Although I did not grow up in the Big Apple, leading One to World over 2 decades helped make me a New Yorker. And dare I say it, a Yankees fan. And a globalist. And now, in the words of that great Irish ballad, The Parting Glass. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Enjoy your dinner, and thank you.
Enjoy your dinner, and after the dinner, our program will continue. Thank you.